Your schedule is not the reason you feel empty. Your ambition is not the reason you feel numb. And your work ethic might not be discipline at all. It might be fear wearing a respectable costume. Because some men are not busy because they are building. They are busy because the moment life gets quiet, the truth starts talking. And that truth sounds like this. You are tired. You are angry. You are lonely. You are disappointed in the man you became. And somewhere deep inside, you know you have been moving fast, so you do not have to sit still long enough to feel it. That is why you check your phone. That is why you keep adding tasks. That is why you tell yourself you are just grinding, just providing, just trying to get ahead. But if we are honest, some of what you call grinding is just running. Running from regret. Running from grief. Running from the version of you that knows there is still more in you, but does not trust you to finally become him. There is a kind of man who looks productive from the outside, but is quietly falling apart inside. He wakes up already tense. Before his feet hit the floor, his mind is already in battle. Bills, work, family, deadlines, expectations. He moves through the day like someone is chasing him, but when you ask what he is chasing, he does not really know. He says, "I'm just busy." No, busy is the surface. Under busy is fear. Fear of slowing down. Fear of looking at the marriage. Fear of looking at the debt. Fear of looking at the body he neglected. Fear of admitting he is not as strong as he pretends to be. Fear of realizing he spent years trying to impress people who were never even watching. So he keeps doing. He becomes a human doing, not a human being. A man can spend his whole life in motion and still never actually arrive anywhere. Here's what nobody wants to tell you. Speed can become an addiction. Not speed like a drug, speed like noise, speed like panic, speed like never-ending motion, speed like always having something to do so you never have to ask who you are becoming. And the world will reward you for it. People will call you hardworking. They will call you reliable. They will say, "I don't know how you do it all." And you will smile because part of you likes being needed. But being needed is not the same as being whole. A lot of men confuse responsibility with disappearance. They become the provider, but lose the person. They become the strong one, but lose the ability to be honest. They become the fixer, but never admit they are broken. They become the man everyone can lean on, while having nobody they can tell the truth to. And then one day, they wake up and realize they built a life that depends on their performance, but does not actually know their pain. That is a dangerous place for a man to live. Because when a man has no place to put his pain, he will hide it in something. Anger, work, lust, food, spending, scrolling, being fine. But buried pain does not become strength. It becomes pressure. And pressure always finds a leak. It leaks onto your wife. It leaks onto your children. It leaks onto your health. It leaks into secret habits you swore you were done with. Then you wonder, why do I keep sabotaging myself? Because you keep trying to control behavior that is being fueled by pain you refuse to face. This is why some men can discipline themselves for a week, then collapse. They can start the routine, then disappear. They can delete the app, then download it again. They can promise change, then return to the same pattern. Not because they are weak, because they are trying to rebuild their life without becoming honest about what broke them.
and you cannot outwork a wound you refuse to name.
Think about the boy you used to be. Before the mask, before the performance, before you learned how to read the room, before you learned which parts of you were acceptable and which parts needed to be hidden. At some point, maybe early, you learned a lesson. Do not be too much. Do not need too much. Do not cry. Do not tell the truth if the truth costs you approval. So you adapted. You became useful. You became funny. You became quiet. You became tough. You became successful. And everybody praised the adaptation. But nobody asked what it cost you. Maybe you became the good son, but lost your voice. Maybe you became the strong friend, but lost your softness. Maybe you became the achiever, but lost your peace. And now you are grown. You have responsibilities. People depend on you. You cannot just fall apart. But you also cannot keep pretending that the man you became to survive is the same man you were created to become. That is the war inside a lot of men. One part wants to change. Another part is still loyal to the old survival pattern. That old pattern says, keep moving, do not feel, do not stop, do not ask for help, do not admit you're lonely, do not admit you're scared. Just push harder. But pushing harder is not always the answer. Sometimes the most masculine thing you can do is stop running long enough to tell the truth. Not to become weak, to become integrated. Because a man who cannot face himself will eventually become dangerous to everyone around him. Not always violent, but absent, defensive, reactive, cold, unavailable, hard to reach, hard to love. And the saddest part is this: he will think the problem is everyone else. But the real issue is that he has not learned how to sit inside his own life without needing to escape it. That is where rebuilding begins. Not with a louder promise, not with another motivational video, not with pretending tomorrow you will magically become a different man. It begins with presence. And presence is not soft. Presence is the discipline of staying in the room with reality. It is admitting you are not where you wanted to be. It is admitting you are more tired than you told anyone. It is facing the gap between your public image and your private habits. It is looking in the mirror without flinching, blaming, or lying. That kind of honesty hurts, but it also heals. Because the parts of you that are running your life in the dark can only lose power when you bring them into the light. So what do? You start smaller than your ego wants, because broken men love dramatic plans. They want the full transformation, the perfect routine, the big declaration, the massive comeback. But the man who actually changes starts with one honest moment repeated daily. Tonight, before you sleep, sit for 5 minutes with no phone, no video, no music, no distraction. Just breathe and ask yourself 3 questions. What am I running from? What am I pretending not to feel? What would the man I respect do tomorrow? Do not rush the answers. Do not perform. Do not turn it into content. Do not try to sound wise. Just be honest. If the answer is, I am scared, say that. If the answer is, I am lonely, say that. If the answer is, I hate what I have allowed, say that. If the answer is, I do not know who I am anymore, say that too. That is not weakness. That is contact with reality. And a man cannot rebuild what he refuses to contact. Then, tomorrow, do one thing that proves you heard yourself, not 10 things. 1. If your body has been begging for discipline, walk for 20 minutes. If your marriage needs honesty, start one real conversation. If your finances have been ignored, open the numbers. If your room is chaos, clean one corner. If your mind is poisoned by scrolling, put the phone away for the first hour. This is how identity changes, not by saying, "I am him," by doing the next honest thing when the old version of you wants to escape. And understand this. The first few times you slow down, you might feel worse. That does not mean it is failing. That means the noise is finally low enough for you to hear what has been waiting underneath it. The sadness was already there. The anger was already there. The fear was already there. Your busyness did not remove it. It just kept you distracted from it. But distraction is not healing, and numb is not peace. A numb man can function. He can earn. He can smile. He can provide. He can even give advice. But he cannot fully love. He cannot fully listen. He cannot fully rest. He cannot fully become. Because becoming requires presence. And presence means you stop abandoning yourself. Maybe this is the wake-up call. Not because your life is over, because it is not, but because another year of running will not make you free. Another year of noise will not make you whole. Another year of pretending will not make you strong. Another year of being busy will not make you a man you respect. At some point, the old strategy stops working. The version of you that survived your past might be destroying your future. He helped you get through pain. He helped you adapt. He helped you keep moving when you did not know what else to do. But he cannot lead the next chapter. The next chapter requires a man who can be still without falling apart. A man who can feel without drowning. A man who can act without performing. A man who can be strong without being unreachable. That man is not built by hype. He is built in quiet choices. The moment you put the phone down instead of escaping. The moment you apologize without defending. The moment you tell the truth before the lie becomes a lifestyle. The moment you do the work even when nobody claps. That is the question. Who are you becoming? Not what are you doing? Not what are you earning? Not what are you posting? Not what do people think? Who are you becoming when no one is watching? Because the man you are in private is the man your future has to live with. And if that sentence scares you, good. Let it wake you up. You do not need to hate yourself to change, but you do need to stop negotiating with the version of you that keeps wasting your life. Stop calling avoidance peace. Stop calling busyness discipline. Stop calling numbness strength. Stop calling survival identity. You are not here just to get through the day. You are here to become the kind of man your younger self needed, your family can trust, and your future self will thank you for. So tonight, slow down. Let the noise fall. Let the truth speak. Let the old mask lose its grip. And tomorrow, do one honest thing. Then do it again, and again, and again.
That is how a man comes home to himself. Not all at once, not dramatically, but honestly. And when a man finally stops running from himself, he becomes harder to manipulate, harder to distract, harder to break. Because now, his life is no longer powered by fear. It is powered by truth. And truth does not need to rush. Truth can stand still. Truth can look you in the eye. Truth can say, I know what happened. I know what I avoided. I know what I became. But I am not finished. You are not finished. But you do have to stop running.